Hey everyone, I have a prop today, which is the Hobbit. Um, now, some people, most, probably most people who are familiar with the series or are fans of the series, um, were, who are younger than me, um, which is probable, that's probably the case. You were probably introduced to this kind of to Tolkien through the movies, which I think were amazing. Yeah, I do. I love the movies. Also, um, and the Hobbit. The, the I love the Lord of the Rings movies. Like, the Hobbit was, it was for me. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't rewatchable or super super good. I don't think, in my opinion, it wasn't. I don't remember too much except that I kind of liked it, and I think I sort of thought the CGI was like a little shitty or something. I don't know, but but I remember. I think I really liked that song, like "Icy Fire." I think it plays at the end of like The Hobbit. But when I was in fifth grade, uh, I I liked reading a lot. Okay, so like I had already, I already had read the first three Harry Potters probably multiple times. I loved those. I had read like the Boxcar Children. That was like one of the first ones I read. I read a bunch of those like Goosebumps novels, which were kind of silly. Um, so I mean, I had read like a lot of stuff, I guess. Well, I it seemed like for oh yeah, I really liked like Julie of the Wolves and like The Hatchet. I think I even like had read a Stephen King novel. Um, so I was a reader since pretty much in kindergarten when I learned to read. I already loved like reading those really stupid kindergarten books, and like then the fucking pop out pirate books. Oh my god, that shit was like crack. um. Anyway, from there, I don't know. At some point, I kind of just fucking basically stopped doing it, except for occasionally finding a series, or okay, and uh, going more for short stories, so it's not like super committed to a long read. Uh, so I do like. I still, of course, I still like short stories, but anyway, I'm going on too long about this. Talking about The Hobbit and why this book in particular is like it. I don't know. Like, even though I feel like at the time I loved Harry Potter, I was kind of obsessed with it, and I would have like preferred it, but like, this is the classic. This is the inspiration. And well, I actually don't. I think this one was actually written first, um, because I believe he intended it to be a children's tale. So I think this one was actually written first. So I don't know. It's just Tolkien's work has influenced fantasy in so many like huge ways. So and the way his writing, I think, is very beautiful and inviting if you if you have a fondness for it, maybe it's because I read it when I was younger and I had a fondness for it. But um, this particular part, which was a song, I remember, you know, uh, the the house under the Hobbit hole under the hill and all that, and Gandalf shows up acting kooky, acting a little, crazy, as he does sometimes, in my opinion, but he's a little nuts. um, and the nine dwarves with very similar names. Good luck keeping up with them. But this, I think, when Gandalf and all the nine dwarves showed up, and they started like all this crazy like banter and shit, is when I was like, I kind of like, I don't know if I really got this part as a kid as much, but I definitely was kind of intrigued at this point. Um, I don't know, like, this is what I mean by, like, there's so many stories within a story. Like, we're talking about nine dwarves. Let's say the great Thorin Oakenshield himself. Uh, he fell flat on Bilbo's mat with Beefer, Bofer, and Bomber on top of him. For one thing, Bomber was immensely fat and heavy. Thorin indeed was very haughty and said nothing about service, but poor Mr. Baggins says he was sorry so many times that at last he grunted, "Pray don't mention it," and stopped frowning. Um, I think it just cracks me up, like like the irritation and like bafflement of like polite Bilbo, and then like having these nine dwarves causing massive chaos in his like tiny little hobbit hole. Or it's not really tiny, it's actually a very nice hobbit hole, because of his father's marriage to the Tooks made them very quickly, so it's a nice hole. um So anyway, there's more like kind of crazy antics, which kind of like might annoy you if you're like, uh, sorry. It might annoy you if you're like not into this stuff, but um, chip the glasses and crack the plates, blunt the knives and bend the forks. That's what Bilbo Baggins hates. Smash the bottles and burn the corks. Cut the cloth and tread the fat. Pour the milk on the pantry floor. Leave the bones on the bedroom mat. Splash the wine on every door. Dump the crocks in a boiling bowl. Pound them up with a thumping pole. And when you've finished, if any are whole, send them down the hall to roll. That's what Bilbo Baggins hates, so carefully with the plates. So, yeah, that's a lot. But, this particular part is where, like, it really like activated the core memory of like, this is when I was like, oh, I'm gonna like this, because like there was this long ass like poem song, and I was like, but I don't know, like I said, if you read these things, you might actually enjoy them. So I will read you this one, because it was very memorable to me. Far over the misty mountains cold, to dungeons deep and caverns old, we must away ere break of day to seek the pale enchanted gold. The dwarves of yore made mighty spells, while hammers fell like ringing bells, in places deep where dark things sleep, in hollow halls beneath the fells. For ancient king and elvish lord, there many a gleaming golden hoard, they shaped and wrought, and light they caught, to hide in gems on hilt of sword. On silver necklaces they strung, the flowering stars on crowns they hung. The dragon fire in twisted wire, they meshed the light of moon and sun. For over the misty mountains cold, to dungeons deep and caverns old, we must away ere break of day to claim our long forgotten golds. Goblets they carved there for themselves, and harps of gold where no man dwells. There lay a long and a many a song was unsung, unheard by men or elves. The pines were roaring on the height, the winds were moaning in the night. The fire was red, its flaming spread, the trees like torches blazed with light. The bells were ringing in the dale, all men looked up with faces pale. Then dragons' ire, more force than fire, laid low their towers and houses frail. The mountains smoked beneath the moon, the dwarves they heard the tramp of doom. They fled their hall to dying fall, beneath his feet, beneath the moon. Far over the misty mountains grim, to dungeons deep and caverns dim, we must away ere break of day, to win our harps of gold from him. As they sang, the Hobbit felt the love of beautiful things made by hands and by cunning, and by magic moving through him. A fierce and jealous love, the desire of the hearts of dwarves. So, Bilbo, I think he's starting to like this old, like, let's go, get our treasure back from the dragon, which is like a very simple story, but, that dragon was scary. The way it was described to me, that was a scary thing for me. It's not like I had read a bunch of like stuff with dragons or, really, actually, I did find this dragon scary, but, the dragons, like, I did actually, like, kind of I already liked dragons, because, I'd already, like, decided I liked dragons from, like, I think it was Breath of Fire 2, the story, with the evil religious god and, like, the dragon clan. Not many people were like, I don't think many people thought that was, like, the best game ever, but, I really liked it. Probably, maybe, partially because the dragons. I don't know. Anyway, see y'all later. Cater. That was stupid. Okay, bye.